So I am 33 years old and moved across the country for work about a year ago. I met my girlfriend, who is 31 years old, a few months in, and we have been dating for about 9 months. Our relationship has been very solid. We share the same values, have a lot of fun together, and I feel happy and in love with her. We have talked about moving in together soon, and I can absolutely see myself with this girl long term. One thing that has come up a few times for us is jealousy. I'm a pretty friendly, extroverted person by nature, and being in a new city, I joined activities and put myself out there a lot to meet people. There have been a few times where my girlfriend felt disrespected because I wasn't representing myself like I was in a relationship. She felt I was being overly flirtatious with new female friends and giving them the wrong idea. Another related issue is that I keep in touch with an ex-girlfriend. By keeping in touch, I mean like a few times a year we might exchange some messages. My ex has moved on romantically and is aware that I have too. My girlfriend and I talked these things out, set some ground rules for communication and respect, and things seem to get way better. I do have lots of female friends back home who I keep in touch with, and in general, my girlfriend is not controlling about this. One of those friends is Anna. Anna and I are close friends. We are part of the same large social group back home. We did go through a period of a few months, not too long before I moved, where we were regularly hooking up. But it was very much a friends with benefits situation. I was still seeing other girls. It would just happen on occasion if we were out with friends and drinking or whatever. My girlfriend is aware of the history with Anna and had previously told me that keeping in touch with her made her uncomfortable. She never told me to cut Anna off or anything, but I could tell it caused her a lot of stress. It was a challenge for us because I didn't want to just cut off or block my friend when she hadn't done anything, but I also didn't want to upset my girlfriend. Things got better once I offered to show my girlfriend our conversations, and she could see I was telling Anna all about her and how happy I was, etc. So, fast forward a few months past this, and I get a message from Anna. Anna tells me that she's coming to a city nearby for a wedding and has a few days off in the city after. She suggested I come out to meet her and we could visit. Anna knows I am in a new relationship and said my girlfriend should come too, so that Anna and she could meet. I have always wanted to visit the city Anna was inviting me to, and I do miss my friends back home, including Anna, so I wanted to make it work. I talked to my girlfriend about it, explained that I knew Anna and I had history, but I only saw Anna as a friend and that I thought the trip could even be a good opportunity for them to meet, so my girlfriend could see that I only have eyes for her. She told me the situation made her feel insecure and uncomfortable, but that she would try if it was important to me. We made the arrangements to go, and everyone was excited. A week before the trip was planned, my girlfriend learned she got a promotion at her job, and they needed her to go on a week-long training that conflicted with our plans. The training was a requirement for the promotion, so there was no way out of it and no flexibility. I immediately assumed that meant neither of us could go on the trip, and was admittedly pretty disappointed. I called Anna to let her know, and she was also disappointed, which I mentioned to my girlfriend. A day or so later, my girlfriend sat me down and told me that she hated to see me upset and didn't want to let her trust or jealousy issues get in the way of me having a life. She told me she would hate herself if she became one of those girlfriends who control their boyfriend's friends, and that she appreciated the work we had done together to build trust before when we were fighting about other female friends, and basically told me she trusted me to go on the trip with Anna alone if I really wanted to. She did tell me that it still made her feel a little anxious, and she would appreciate it if I got separate accommodations from Anna and regularly called or texted her when I was there to check in, which I thought was reasonable. That whole conversation made me feel great, and I was so happy I had a girlfriend who was mature and trusting. I let Anna know the trip was back on and booked my own accommodation. I arrived on the trip, and the first day was great. I got to catch up with Anna. We did some sightseeing and tourist activities, and everything seemed normal. On the second night, we had plans to go to a fancy restaurant. I'm a big foodie and was excited about the chance to eat there. We were drinking nice wine, and the setting was very romantic, with candles and everything, and the service staff were treating us like a couple. I started to feel a little guilty here because Anna made some comments about old memories and seemed to be really enjoying the experience. So here is where I messed up. The restaurant was right by where I was staying, so after our meal, Anna and I picked up a 6-pack of beer and were going to drink it on my deck to cap off the night. I noticed that after a few beers, Anna kept moving her chair closer to me, slapping me on the shoulder when she was laughing and making more physical contact, but we were sitting in separate chairs. I started getting nervous and just tried to keep the conversation on regular platonic topics. I went to use the bathroom at one point, and when I came back, Anna was standing inside waiting for me. She then launched into a big speech about how she developed feelings for me when we were hooking up before and was sad we never got to explore our connection to its full potential. She told me she never stopped thinking about me. She literally straddled me on the couch and then whispered in my ear that she knew I felt the same way and that we should give it another try, and that if we were intimate that night, my girlfriend would never have to know. I instantly panicked and started yelling at her to get off of me. I got myself out from under her and told her I only saw her as a friend. She started crying and apologizing, saying that if she wasn't certain I felt the same way, she wouldn't have done this. I didn't know what to do, so I just quickly packed my things and got an Uber to the airport. I messaged the host of the rental and told them I had a family emergency and would be leaving. I called my girlfriend from the airport parking lot and told her everything. She was devastated and could not stop crying. We both cried. I asked her if she was mad at me, and she said she didn't know what she was thinking and needed space. I flew home that Saturday, and today is Tuesday, and I have not heard from her at all, despite multiple calls and texts. I sent Anna one final text message that said what she did was entirely inappropriate, that she has ruined our chances of ever having a healthy friendship, and that I didn't want to hear from her ever again. Anna keeps trying to call and text me, but I have not responded to any of that. I feel like such a terrible person for knowingly going into this situation when my girlfriend went out of her way to trust me. I am terrified she's going to break up with me or that this is going to make her jealousy and trust issues worse. How do I make it up to her? Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. So here is where I made a mistake. No, you made a mistake long before that. It's not just about the decisions you make, but also the situations you put yourself in. Your girlfriend feels disrespected by your behavior because your behavior is disrespectful. A romantic dinner with the girl you used to be intimate with? You grabbed a 6-pack with her to drink alone in private? You didn't say a word as she moved closer? Zoom out to look at all of the choices you made along the way. You didn't just find yourself there. You want to stay friends with your former friends with benefits and have a healthy relationship with your new partner? That requires more communication, consideration, respect, and emotional intelligence. If you're just realizing you made a mistake when she's straddling you, then maybe you're not just a friendly, extroverted person. You're inconsiderate and selfish. At best, you want your cake and eat it too. At worst, you enjoy the attention. Grow up and set some boundaries. Comment 2. On top of what everyone else has said, this might be a good lesson to trust your girlfriend's instincts about stuff like this. While those feelings about a partner's friend can be based on their own insecurity, when they're generally able to communicate openly and rationally about those things, sometimes it really is a matter of them being able to see things we're too subjective or a little willfully blind to. Let her know that you value her perspective on your relationships like this, because it sounds like she has good instincts, and try to treat her discomfort about these situations as though it has merit going forward. I know I would like to hear that from a partner in this kind of situation. Now, for the update, I'm back with another update. It's been 3 weeks since I last heard from my girlfriend after the trip with Anna. I sent her a bunch of texts and a couple of voice messages, but no response. I decided to reach out to her best friend, Sarah, to see if she had heard anything. Sarah said my girlfriend was really upset and needed time. I kept busy with work, trying not to think about it. My girlfriend's birthday was coming up, and I wasn't sure if I should reach out. I ended up organizing a small birthday surprise with some of her closest friends. On the day of the surprise, I found out she was at a local wine bar with Sarah and a few friends. I got to the bar, hopeful but nervous about how she would react. When I walked in, I saw her laughing with her friends, and it hurt. I went to the table, and her smile disappeared when she saw me. I tried to lighten the mood by joking about the surprise, but it didn't work. She stood up, looked at me, and said she didn't want to talk. I felt her friends staring at me as I tried to explain my intentions. She turned away, and I left the bar feeling defeated. I got a text from Sarah later saying my girlfriend was upset I showed up uninvited. 2 days later, I got a call from Anna asking to meet up. I reluctantly agreed, thinking maybe I could clear things up. During the meeting, Anna apologized for her behavior during the trip. She mentioned my girlfriend and said she felt guilty about the whole situation. I told Anna that I was focused on fixing things with my girlfriend. Anna then said she had been in touch with my girlfriend. She said they had a long conversation about the trip and feelings. I felt a mix of anger and confusion at Anna for getting involved. I decided to confront my girlfriend about the conversation with Anna. I showed up at her apartment unannounced, hoping to talk. My girlfriend opened the door, looking surprised but not happy to see me. I pushed through, demanding to know what she discussed with Anna. She admitted that Anna implied I had feelings for her, which hurt her more. I insisted that was never the case and that Anna was just confused. My girlfriend said she needed to think, and I left feeling even more frustrated. I started thinking of a way to show my girlfriend I was serious about our relationship. I decided to expose Anna's manipulative behavior to my girlfriend. I gathered evidence of Anna's messages and called her out on it. I sent an email to my girlfriend with screenshots of Anna's texts. My girlfriend responded, saying she needed space to think about everything. I waited a few days, then got a call from my girlfriend, asking to meet. During our meeting, she confronted me about Anna's messages. She agreed, but said she needed time to trust me again. Edit. After a few days of not hearing from my girlfriend again, she texted me, saying she needed space. I respected her request, but checked in occasionally. 10 days later, she asked to meet, and we talked about our relationship and the issues we've had. She apologized for overreacting initially. We discussed our values and boundaries, and she agreed to work on trusting me more. She also apologized for getting involved with Anna. We decided to take things slow and see if we could rebuild our relationship. Am I the idiot for telling my boyfriend to take a hike after he criticized my weight and then dumped me for someone new? My boyfriend and I have been together for over a year now. Yesterday morning, we were about to head out to do some things when he stopped me for a talk. He then told me that he noticed I've recently put on some weight and he felt the need to say something about it. It took me by complete surprise. He's always been so sweet and never one to say anything like this. He didn't even say it in a harsh way or anything. He was very kind and gentle about it. He reassured me it's not a bad thing and he just wants me to be happy and healthy. Emphasis on the healthy because he's assumed I'm unhealthy. Now, I have obviously gained some weight, but it's nothing too drastic. I was at the doctor not too long ago and there was nothing out of the ordinary. But he did say that I haven't noticed the weight, which is definitely wrong. Of course I've noticed. He pointed out how I've been eating more and working out less. I then thought this was something that meant he isn't attracted to me, which he said was wrong. This talk went on for over 40 minutes or so. He said things I took a lot of offense to, like I've been indulging myself more often and I've been stuffing my face. He said that I don't look model thin anymore, which I never did, to be honest. He then told me to take off my shirt and really look at myself. At a certain point, I thought this was his way of trying to make me break up with him because he wanted to break up, which he said is not true. I did tell him that I might want to break up because I don't want to be with someone who says these things about me. Especially since growing up, and even through my adult years, I've had a lot of issues with my body. He was very surprised I said that, and practically begged me not to. I said I need the day to think about it. I thought about it a bit, and I honestly did my best to avoid a conversation last night. I'm lost on what to do. I don't really want to break up with him. I do love him, but I'm trying to figure out what to do about this. I have 2 boys, and I'd hate for him to ever say anything about their bodies because I know how that affects a child. I'm just wondering, what should I do? I've been thinking about it a lot, and I don't know if this is reasonable grounds to break up. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Yeah, it is a crappy thing to do. You really don't need reasonable grounds to break up with someone. The fact they made you feel badly is reason enough. Because you want to is reason enough. No one gives you a kind suggestion that lasts 40 minutes or makes you wonder what they will say to your children. You may love him, but he doesn't love you. Not with that attitude. Comment 2. He then told me to take off my shirt and really look at myself. I hate your boyfriend. Guess it's only taken him a year to show his true colors. Please break up with him before he destroys your self-esteem. You don't need a rude man ending the life of your vibe while you have 2 boys to look after. You deserve better. Now, for the update. I'm not sure how to even start this. My life has taken a turn that I never saw coming, and honestly, I'm still trying to process it all. It's been over a month since the conversation with my ex about my weight, and I thought I was doing better. I really tried to focus on my self-image and health without his comments getting to me. I decided to start exercising regularly, just to feel better about myself. I began taking evening walks around my neighborhood. Just me, my earbuds, and the sweet sounds of whatever artist I was into that week. My ex initially supported the whole exercise thing and would often join me for these walks. It felt nice, like we were a couple again. But that didn't last long. A week later, he suggested we go to his family's annual holiday barbecue. I was a bit apprehensive because I didn't want to deal with his family's judgmental looks and comments about me. But I went, thinking maybe it'd be a nice reset for us. Well, it was anything but that. At the barbecue, his mom made a comment about how I looked different. Different? Just what I needed to hear. My ex chimed in, saying I was working on getting back to my old self. What does that even mean? What's my old self? I overheard him talking to his sister, saying how he hoped I would get back to normal before the wedding. Wedding? I had no idea there was even an engagement in the works. After the barbecue, I confronted him about what he said. He brushed it off, saying it was a casual remark, nothing serious. But we continued to argue about it, and it led to a heated discussion when we got home. He actually had the nerve to accuse me of being overly sensitive about the weight issue. A few days later, I found out he was still active on dating apps. I know, but I found out while doing a casual check on his phone while he was in the shower. I saw the app and my heart sank. He denied it, claiming it was an old account he forgot about. Yeah, okay, buddy. I demanded he delete the app in front of me, and he reluctantly complied. But we were still stuck in this cycle of arguing about the same dumb things. Like, can we move on already? It always circled back to the weight comments. During a family dinner at my parents' house, my ex showed up uninvited. His presence made the atmosphere so awkward. My parents were confused about his intentions. He made a joke about me skipping dessert, which my dad didn't find funny at all. After dinner, he pulled me aside to talk about our relationship. He suggested we take a break to evaluate things. I felt completely blindsided by this. Like, are you kidding me? A week later, I received a text from him saying he met someone new. Just like that, the relationship ended. It was so abrupt, confirming all my fears about his lack of commitment. I'm still trying to figure out if this is a good thing or if I just dodged a bullet. Edit. This is a lot to digest, and I appreciate everyone for their concern. To clarify, my ex was aware of my body image issues from the start. I had openly shared my past struggles with disordered eating, which made his comments even more hurtful. As for the wedding, he had been keeping that a secret and later admitted it was a surprise for our 2-year anniversary. I'm now focusing on myself and working with a therapist. I'm hopeful for the future. Am I the idiot for calling out my husband's cruel jokes about my weight in front of his family? I am a 26-year-old female and have been with my husband who is a 30-year-old male, for 4 years, but we got married earlier this year. In the past, he has made comments about my weight when we first started dating. I'm 5 feet 3 inches tall, and I weighed 135 pounds when we first met, and he told me I was the fattest girl he'd ever been with. His ex was 95 pounds. I dropped down to 115 pounds because I was getting into 5Ks, and he would say things like, "When you were fat." I would tell him I was never fat, and it's hurtful, but he would say I'm in denial. He said these things knowing that I had an eating disorder in my teens. All of these instances are from over 3 years ago. Last week, a family member came from Germany and gifted us a box of assorted chocolates. There are 2 of each kind of chocolate, so we shared the box. We were trying the chocolates, and I was taking a tiny bite of each one to taste it. Altogether, I maybe ate 1 piece in total. I said, "This is my dopamine hit for the day," because I had recently run out of Adderall, so it was a joke all day that I was chasing a dopamine hit because my attention deficit hyperactivity disorder symptoms were not being managed by my medication. He responded with a joke, saying something along the lines of, "Why can't I lose weight? Maybe it's my thyroid," in a silly voice. For context, 2 weeks ago, my doctor told me my thyroid was on the lower side, so she wanted to monitor it. I immediately called him out on it, asking why he's bringing up my weight when nobody was talking about that, and even going so far as to bring up my medical issues. He kept saying it was just a joke he took too far. I'm not even trying to lose weight, so I wasn't sure where the joke was. I'm 5 feet 3 inches tall, and I'm currently 120 pounds, and this is the first time in my life I actually like how I look and feel confident about my body. I asked him if he thinks I'm fat or if he thinks I need to lose weight, and he kept saying no. I know his childhood was really messed up. My therapist compared what I told him to a book called A Child Called It, and that his dad would pit his brothers against one another and they would ruthlessly bully each other. But he refuses therapy. We've talked about this a couple of times since it happened, but I still can't get over it. He's apologized profusely, claiming it was just a joke and that he thinks I look amazing, but part of me can't believe him. I don't know how his brain even got there and why he would say it. I would never say something like that to him. I haven't been able to shower or change in front of him because I'm feeling insecure. How can I move past this or explain to him in a way that makes him understand how hurt I am? I can't tell if this is something normal or not. Now for an update. Thank you to everyone who commented. I want to clarify that he hasn't made hurtful comments in over 3 years, but I still don't find them acceptable. I know he can be loving and caring, but that doesn't excuse anything. Thank you for helping me realize this is emotional abuse. After looking into it, I found multiple things that he does that could also be considered hurtful. Neither of us grew up with an example of a healthy relationship, so I didn't know this wasn't normal. I will try to have a serious conversation and give him an ultimatum to go to therapy. If not, I will try to make an escape plan. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. He says this stuff because he wants you to feel insecure. Making you feel bad is the whole point. Don't let his childhood be used as an excuse for his being hurtful now. If he's not working on changing his behaviors or getting therapy, that means he thinks they are okay. Most hurtful people at some point were abused themselves, but not all people who were abused choose to abuse others. This is a choice he is making in order to put you down. He needs to own that choice. Comment 2. Why would you marry him? He was already being cruel to you, and you chose to bind yourself to him legally. He is a mean person, and he sees that you're okay with it because you haven't left him yet. Find your backbone and leave him. Someone who loves you will never purposefully be cruel to you. Now, for the update. 2 days after my last post, I had a dinner planned at my parents' house. My husband thought it would be a good chance to bond with my family, so he agreed to come. I was kind of surprised by that, considering how everything had been going, but whatever. Can't say I was complaining. My mom's lasagna is the best, so the dinner table was set with her famous lasagna and garlic bread. Like I could practically taste it when I walked in. The atmosphere was pretty chill. Everyone was laughing, joking, and just catching up. Then my dad brought up family traditions. He asked everyone to share a funny moment from their childhood. I shared a story about my brother Jake's ridiculous Halloween costume from years ago. I mean, the dude went as a giant chicken. He even had a full-on beak mask. It was hilarious. Everyone was cracking up, and I could see my husband's face starting to light up with ideas for his turn. I was hoping he wouldn't go down a bad path, but I had no such luck. When it was his turn, he made a joke about my past struggles with weight. Like, seriously? Everyone laughed, but I felt that familiar sting. I shot him a look, just hoping he'd get the hint. But nope, he was still in this joking mood and kept going. He said it was all in good fun. My brother Jake changed the subject to his wife's pregnancy announcement. Rachel beamed while showing off her ultrasound picture to the table. The room was filled with excitement and happiness. My husband's still in this joking mood and quips about needing to eat healthier. I mean, come on. My mom asked if we had any plans for the future. He mentioned wanting to travel, but I felt this knot in my stomach about it. I could only imagine the comments about my weight that were bound to pop up during a trip. After dinner, I excused myself to the bathroom. My mom's bathroom is so cozy, like a spa. While washing my hands, I overheard my husband talking to my dad. He joked about how he was just trying to keep things light with me. I mean, really? I decided it was time to address the comments directly. After dessert, I pulled him aside, away from my family. I confronted him about the joke and how it affected me. He just downplayed the situation, saying he was just teasing. The tension escalated as we argued quietly in the hallway. My sister Kate walked by and noticed our disagreement. She paused, giving me a concerned look, but didn't intervene. He shrugged, saying I was overreacting, which just frustrated me more. The dinner ended with my family completely unaware of the tension brewing between us. The next day, I found a message on my phone from a friend. She suggested a local support group that met weekly. That evening, my husband received a call from a family member. He stepped outside to take the call, and I overheard snippets. He talked about plans for a family trip without even mentioning me. I decided to reach out to the support group and signed up for the next meeting. I just need to figure out my life. Edit. I had my first meeting with the support group last night. It was really eye-opening, and I felt like I wasn't alone in what I'm going through. The women were supportive and shared their stories. It made me realize I deserve a lot more than what I'm getting. I'm going to focus on myself for now. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.